Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to change the volume buttons in the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. I'll include links in the video description below the video where you can find any tools that I'm going to be using during this process today. I'm going to be using a Phillips screwdriver size 000. I want to explain more about that later. I'm going to be using a plastic pry tool, and if there's any other thing in this video that I'm going to be using, I'll include links there so it's easy for you to find where I got the parts and the tools to do this procedure. So to remove the back cover, just grab your phone and there's a notch right here. You can put your fingernail in there and you can just grab it and just peel the back cover right off like that. Next, to remove the battery, just stick your fingernail right in this notch down here and the battery lifts up just like that. So next what you want to do is use a Phillips screwdriver size 000, and you're going to want to remove all these 15 screws all the way around here. They're all the same size, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. So next what we're going to want to do is use a thin pry tool like this. This is really thin. It has to be quite thin. I'll include links in the video description where I found this one. It's really thin. And so what we're going to want to do now, after we have all the screws out, is we're going to want to carefully pry on the top part here. Excuse this one here because it has a cracked screen and I have tape over it so it doesn't come apart, but I just wanted to show you. But what we're going to want to do is we're going to come on the front here and we're going to slide under here. And there's a couple clips in here that we need to pop apart on both sides, on this side and on this side. This is a lot easier if you don't have a broken screen like I do. We start right here by the volume button and we're just going to work right in here. So yeah, what I found the best is if I start right here by the volume button and work my way down through here. You can see it's starting to separate here a little bit. There's just some clips in different places. Like I said, this is a lot easier if you don't have a broken screen like I do. So yeah, once it starts separating right in here, keep working it around as you go. Just pry a little bit and just keep sliding this along here as you go. So now that we've gotten it this separated, as you can see it's coming apart. What I did is just work my way all the way around like this and save the bottom for last. And then you can just pry up very carefully. You want to save the bottom to last because the charging port has to slide up out of there. And so you can just kind of work it loose. And like I said, mine's being more difficult because my screen is so badly cracked. If your screen isn't damaged as badly as mine, it should come out just fine. So as you can see, I just had the little adhesive in this last corner that I had to watch, and the whole back came off just like that. Okay, so next what you will want to do is use the Phillips screwdriver again, and we're going to want to remove this black screw right here. Next what I'm going to do is use a plastic pry tool. I don't like to use metal on these connectors, but what we're going to do is remove this connector right here for the earpiece speaker, and we're going to remove this connector down here. Get that out of the way. Then for this, in a way I found a tweezers works good to remove these little antenna wires right here. So remove the white one, then down here and remove the blue one. Just give them a simple twist. Works really well for taking them off. Then what we want to do is carefully pry up this logic board. Now this front camera right here has to come loose in order to come with the board. We'll just wiggle this loose to start with. You don't want to pry it up out necessarily, you want to get it loose. So that's first. What you can do is start prying under here very carefully. The logic board starts coming loose. Now what I found, excuse me as I move this around some, you're gonna have to kind of pry up this front camera as it comes along with it. Make sure that's loose. And then this rear camera has adhesive under it sometimes. We're gonna want to pry that up. That has to come along with it. And then as we pry up, we pry straight back. There's another connector right here for the charging port that holds the logic board in, and then the whole logic board comes out just like that. To change the volume buttons, which are located right here on the side, what we're going to do is we're just going to slide under this part right here with something sharp like a tweezers. This part is just stuck down with adhesive right here, so you just want to slide under there and carefully, going to come up around the side here, and you want to get under there carefully and just slide it along all the way down. And the volume part comes out just like that. To reinstall your new part, just grab your new part and peel off the adhesive film on here. And you just grab it and set it down in place. And it has notches on it so it can only go in one spot. You want to go ahead and stick that down. Then we can set this down. And this has a peg in it, so this can only go in one spot here. And you want to make sure to stick that down. Then you're all set. Now to put the logic board back in, there's a little trick to this. Samsung made it quite difficult. And so I wanted to go over a little bit what some of the problems can be. From what I'm seeing here is what we need to do first of all, let's go ahead and I'll just walk you through it a little bit here. We'll reconnect this bottom connector on the logic board right here. So this connector we have to reconnect first. Now as we set this down here, There's this connector we have to watch here as we set it down, and then there's a connector right here that we have to watch. But now these two connectors right here, there's no way to connect them as you're setting this logic board down here. There's not enough room to connect them as you're setting it down. They have to be connected from the back side. So the only way you can do, like if you're changing your screen or something and you separate the screen out, you can assemble this first and then put the screen on so you can actually connect them from the other side, like here. But if you're just changing out the logic board or doing any of these repairs where you have to get to the logic board, you have to get it out in order to get to it, like the vibrator and the rear camera and front camera and stuff. You have to, unless you want to take the whole screen apart, you have to get in here and somehow connect these. So the only way that I've found is you have to hopefully, if it's the same logic board, if you're just doing a repair where it's the same logic board like this, then everything should line up, because these can vary for up and down depending on the phone. But if you're like actually changing the screen or something, then you may have to tweak it a little bit. But pretty much what you need to do, that I've found, the only way that you can get to it, is you have to set this down. Now watch this connector here, and then watch this connector up here. I'm going to use the tweezers so you can show it better. And so as we set this down here, basically the only way that I found is you have to push from here and listen for a click if possible as you're reconnecting these. You just have to try it, and then sometimes if you're not sure, you can pick up on it. If it seems like it's stuck pretty good, even if sometimes you don't hear a click, then you just have to try it. So then what we need to do is we need to get this front camera lined up and get it in its spot right here. It's a little tricky to do sometimes, so that's good. Then we need to go ahead and reconnect this earpiece speaker right here. And then we need to reconnect this connector right here. And then we need to reconnect the blue wire first and reconnect that first. And it's a shorter one, so it goes in the further down one. Now once we reconnect it, we need to put it in its channel over here. Then we need to reconnect the white wire here. So then yeah, we can reconnect that wire, and then this white wire lays on top of the blue wire right there. Then we need to put our black screw in right there. Now what I was saying about the logic board working and stuff for these connectors that were under here, what I would recommend to do next is to put your battery in and test it to make sure that the screen comes on and the touch works. And if not, you need to take it back apart, lift this board up a little bit, and just make sure to press down on those connectors. And that's the only way that I've found. It's a little tricky sometimes. So make sure that your screen works and your touch works, that both work, and then you know that you got both connectors, because this one is the screen and this one under here is a touch, from what I can tell. And so it might take a couple tries, but that's the only way that I've found to do it. But yeah, I would recommend testing it out before you reassemble everything in case you need to take it back apart. Then we'll go ahead and grab the back cover, and what we need to do first is we need to get the charging port down in there started first, down in the bottom. Then we can just kind of work our way up through and just make sure that it clips in all the way around. Then go ahead and put all your screws back in all the way around. To reinstall the battery, just grab your battery, make sure that the connectors are on this side, and because it's on this side in the phone, just grab it and set it right down in there. To put the back cover back on, just grab your back cover, just start at the top and work your way down around. Make sure that it's down all the way around, and you're all set. Thanks for watching.